So, this one is the Shadiversity, the pathetic life of an AI activist. This should be interesting. I remember Shadiversity is the guy who talked about swords and sword battles and techniques, so this is going to be interesting.
Hey, boy, we're going on a side quest.
So recently, there was a crowdfunder for a new Dungeons & Dragons show called MinMax. It was started by Cell Sword Arts, and he wanted to bring together a bunch of various weapon YouTubers to play a D&D game.
Yeah, I remember those guys. They pretty much review swords as well on shorts.
The crowdfunder was very successful. I was very excited to see this show popping off, and it looks like there are now hundreds of thousands of fans of all these different weapon YouTubers excited to see their favorite creators coming together for a game of tabletop. As somebody who loves TTRPGs, this was really wholesome and great to see, but it also got me reminiscing on one of my favorite fascinations. Enter Shadiversity. Shadiversity is another sword YouTuber, though he is notably absent from this and, frankly, absent from many other sword collabs. No one really wants to work with this guy. Wonder why? I mean, if you take a look at his channel, he has over 1 million subscribers. He's clearly very successful. But
Dude did
when you
some
take
job
a
for himself.
closer look at his videos, you'll notice that he barely cracks 50,000 views on a good day. Taking a look at his social blade, his subscriber count is in free fall, losing tens of thousands of subscribers over the past year. His views have flatlined. Looking at his collaborators, people who work on his channel, they're leaving in droves, many of them citing financial difficulties. And that begs the question, what happened to this guy? I mean,
Apparently the AI? Like, what is he doing for it to crumple that bad? Is he taking the Kwebbelkop approach?
it's not every day you see such a successful YouTuber lose everything. Did he release some super unpopular video? Well, unfortunately for me, it's a bit more complicated. Shadiversity is a multifaceted lolcow. The spectrums of his incompetence are truly fascinating. And in order to cover all of it, we're going to need to go through every piece of content that Shadiversity makes, from his media takes to his sword content to his artwork. There are so many ways in which Shadiversity has failed, and each and every one of them could be the reason why Shadiversity's channel has fallen apart. From giving up everything for an alt-right grift, to AI activism, to his insecurity around his little brother, we're going to be talking about the sordid tale of Shad M. Brooks. Oh boy. You guys have been requesting this one for a while, and babes, I'm happy to deliver. Without further ado, what the hell happened?
He sounds so disappointed.
We have criticisms when people want to hijack brands and things where you like to push political messages when they really should be apolitical. Like Eminem, why on earth do they need to be political?
Shad lies. If you criticize Shad, he will lie about you and paint you as the devil.
Huh?
Okay, so nigh on 10 to 11 years ago, Shadiversity started his channel as just a standard nerdy sword channel. He talked about a bunch of things, actually. Sci-fi, fantasy, superheroes,
Damn,
just
look at
whatever.
that setup. So basic. DC, Marvel, and then basically a sword and shield in the center with the rather simple throne with him holding a sword in a suit. So simple, though.
He was interested in. It's definitely early YouTube content, unedited talking head with no script, barely any professionalism, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, I completely understand why people like this. I mean, it's definitely charming. There's a big part of me that misses this era of casual content creation. Just a really excited nerd talking about the stuff that he loves. This content built the bedrock of Shadiversity's career, and as his audience grew, he got to do more elaborate stuff. Elaborate on how chainmail works, showcase different types of swords. People were really interested in this content. Now, as I watch, I definitely noted that it's not the most scientific stuff out there, but I mean, come on. It's YouTube. We don't need to take everything so seriously. This guy's clearly having a good time, and his audience were happy to join him for the ride. However, even in the golden era of Shadiversity's channel, when his content was exploding and he was reaching past that precious 7-figure mark of subscribers, there was some trouble brewing. You see, Shad did a lot of sword content, testing various types of blades and armor, and so inevitably, he began to overlap with the HEMA community. HEMA stands for Historical European Martial Arts. It is a sort of club sport where people test authentic medieval techniques used by real knights wielding heavy steel blades. It's some serious stuff. I certainly can't do it. When I was a kid, I fenced against my dad, and I'd leave with sore ribs every time. I respect anyone that has the ability to practice HEMA because it takes effort, years of training and honing your body. It's impressive, but Shad had some interesting opinions about HEMA. It really blew up in his face, though, when he covered a video made by Matt Easton. Matt Easton was essentially explaining what HEMA is and what HEMA isn't on his own YouTube channel. He explained that HEMA is historical, that people who practice HEMA practice real historical techniques and wield appropriate material while doing so. If you're just
basically role-playing, but actually using genuine historical notes and accurate depictions of combat. Honestly, kind of reminds me of when me and my friends watched that, what was it, that wrestler match that had like people wearing knight armor and using swords. And then it was just kind of like a bit disappointing because it was slightly exaggerated, or not exaggerated, just more underwhelming. They didn't punch or deck themselves. So basically, they were still using swords and shields for some reason. It was kind of disappointing. This is basically the opposite of that, just going full on historical accuracy with the weapons. And even though they don't use armor, it does look epic. Like, they're genuinely going full on, like, combat ready. Full on medieval style. Looks epic.
swinging foam swords in your backyard, that is not the same as practicing HEMA. I think that's a perfectly reasonable point of view. Keep in mind that Matt Easton is absolutely qualified to talk about this because Matt, invented the acronym.
So I was one of the founding members of HEMAC, the Historical European Martial Arts Coalition, and this was the first organisation to use HEMA in its name. And we had a very specific remit. We had a mission statement, and we knew what we were doing. We were all in accord. And so when we invented the term HEMA, we knew what HEMA meant.
Yeah, if you're gonna debate with anyone about the proper definition of HEMA, I'm pretty sure this guy is the last person you should be debating. But Shadiversity decided to try anyway. He made an extremely disproportionately long response video to Matt Easton. Keep in mind, Matt...
You know it's bad when they make a disproportionately long response. What was he trying to prove? That he's right?
Matt did not name anyone in that video. He was not trying to target any content creators. It's on Shadiversity that he took this general video about the definition of HEMA so personally. And guys, this is the most Reddit argument video that's ever been posted to YouTube.
This exclusion starts with saying effective, viable techniques people discover through valid historical experimentation based on historical sources that are not written is not HEMA because many HEMA practitioners have created an arbitrary standard that is fundamentally different to the meaning of the word history.
God, if you are confused by the word salad, trust me, you're not the only one. I'll translate.
Thank you.
this for you. Shadiversity is upset that HEMA is historical, that they are strictly practicing historical techniques. He thinks that we should be allowed to innovate, to experiment, to do things based on real history. I mean, we are blessed to have actual historical accounts and sources that we can directly take for our reenactments, but I mean, we can be a bit more creative, right?
Instead, they appeal to many period-written sources, which in themselves are an incredible resource we are very lucky to have, but use them as an exclusionary standard, claiming that if it is not in the sources, it is not HEMA.
Look, I want to make it clear. There's nothing wrong with creativity. We're a Dungeons & Dragons channel, for Christ's sake. We're not practicing realism here. But HEMA is historical. Shadiversity accuses Matt Easton and other HEMA practitioners of being gatekeepers, but that's so...
Gatekeepers on people using practices from history. They're gatekeeping. Okay.
Stupid. Matt Easton is not gatekeeping HEMA. Gatekeeping is when you keep someone out for an arbitrary or dumb reason. Like if Matt Easton were to say that women can't practice HEMA because they're the fairer sex, then yeah,
Didn't he show that there's actually a clip of two girls fighting with the said practices?
that would be gatekeeping. But that's not what he's saying. He's just saying that if you want to practice HEMA, historical European martial arts, you need to practice accurate historical martial arts.
Yeah.
What Shad is saying is he wants to call himself an NBA basketball player even if he only shoots on the kiddie hoops. And I'm being pretty serious about that because remember when I mentioned that Matt Easton talked about foam swords in the backyard? Well, that's part of the video that Shad took incredibly personally.
Matt's example of two people simply sparring with foam longswords in the back garden and do not do anything else apart from sparring, that such a pursuit is not HEMA, is wrong and framed very poorly, but I will explain.
Yeah, they're sparring. What are they supposed to do? Use actual metal swords? What, they're gonna perform a Star Wars by accident, losing a limb or, God forbid, a head? What?
Expound more on this soon. What I want to address first is that people have assumed he is referring to me by this statement.
Do I really need to explain the difference between wielding foam swords and wielding actual steel?
Please
Come on,
don't.
man, they are not even close to the same thing. And again, there's nothing wrong with wielding foam swords in your backyard for fun.
Or for cosplay, because some people do use foam stuff and, like, one of those mats from yoga or something like that to basically make foam swords because using, you know, actual steel can't pass through the quote-unquote security on conventions and comic cons. So yeah, like cosplaying or making fake weapons or just simply for sparring doesn't seem that bad of an idea. I don't get the memo.
Or for videos, for content, it's great. But it's not HEMA, and that's okay. Now, Shad just tried to counter this point by saying that he has wielded real steel before, but there's a HEMA blog that gave some context to that. When saying he doesn't limit himself to foam swords, he is yet again replaying the same video from 2017 of him fencing a young HEMA guy who had done an hour of longsword a week for a few months, and he was kind enough to agree to fence him for fun on that day. This is an opponent he cherry-picked while declining to fence in a similar way with any of the more experienced fencers or even reenactors who were there.
So he basically picked the tired, incompetent guy who came to have fun. This is like a competitive sweat just picking a casual player just because.
This footage gets brought out time and time again to support the idea that he frequently fences steel longsword with other HEMA folk. Yet, where do we see him presenting the outcomes of his system, fencing with the broader HEMA community in Australia, or coming to the many tournaments and events that have been run in Melbourne, just a couple hours from him? It's true that a short time after the video was taken, he came to his only actual HEMA event, all the way back in 2017. Though again, he didn't cross swords with anyone, acting almost exclusively as an observer, not as a participant.
So he's not even going to, like, give it a shot? That's... what the hell? Like, I understand if, like, you don't like the appeal, but, like... I mean, did he at the very least, like, ask, like, genuinely about how they do things or something like that? Why would you even try it, too? Like, I highly doubt they'd be, you know, against the idea of just, like, inviting you here, even if you're, like, amateurish. And yet you won't try it?
Oh my god. The comments under that video that Shad made were rough. It got so bad, he had to pin a comment that was being nice to him, which...
a nice a comment that was nice to him. Literally several a giant ass essay. It's not even the full. Oh no, it is the full thing. I was about to say it's show less, not show more. Jesus. Comment that's nice to him, several paragraphs long, and the equivalent of a roast. Holy.
Guys, that's not the last time you're going to hear about that. And it's also not the last time that Shad's going to take a general video made by an actual martial artist incredibly personally. Because, yeah, he didn't learn his lesson. He did this crap again. Welcome back to the stage, Cell Sword Arts. Yeah.
Hey, I know those
Shadiversity
guys.
decided to beef with Sellsword Arts. We already talked about him in the intro, but he's not just a big sword YouTuber running a new D&D show. This guy is a very accomplished HEMA fighter. He participates in tournaments, he goes to public events. Unlike Shad, this dude is actually in shape and actually fences. Again, of all the people to debate about HEMA, I would not try to debate this guy.
I mean, yeah,
Now,
this is basically, again, the guy who barely even goes out of his way to get some experience or even interactions with them goes on debates with the guys who actually do said things. So stupid.
For more context, Sellsword Arts has long eclipsed Shadiversity's channel by this point.
Oh.
But earlier in the timeline, when this whole controversy went down, Sellsword Arts was a smaller YouTube channel. And like Matt Easton before him, he did not talk directly about Shadiversity. Sellsword made a general video about armchair warriors. People who don't fence, who don't wield steel, who don't go to actual tournaments, who don't know much about fighting.
I don't think I need to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Anime, video games, pop culture, and all of those things are not accurately representing swordsmanship. It's cool, it's fun,
Well, duh.
and it's enjoyable to watch, but that's not the way
Yeah.
that swords would have actually been used. But because most popular content creators who do things about swords are courting that audience, they tend to couch things in terms of those anime techniques or things like that. How many videos have you seen kind of breaking down video game sword fighting and things like that? It's interesting, it's fun to watch, but the conversation is dominated by that, to the point where it's really hard to find realistic swordsmanship unless you know where to look.
They're not actually practical or
Neat.
real. And when we're talking about fencing, we should be listening to people who, you know,
Practice and experience and whatnot. I mean, yeah.
actually fence. Basically, if you want to learn basketball, maybe learn from somebody who plays basketball rather than someone who plays 2K. I think that's a perfectly based and reasonable perspective from somebody who clearly knows what he's talking about. But once again, Shad decided to take this very general video about armchair warriors and do the classic self-own, thinking that it was personally made to attack him.
Like, I mean, on the one hand, according to what I understand, he literally is, by that definition, into the armchair warrior set. I mean, I'm definitely gonna be an armchair warrior because I don't fucking know anything, so I'm gonna gladly take my seat. But like, at the exact same time, rather than debate on it, why don't you just, you know, make a change?
Not only does he say that he is encouraging people to not watch other certain content creators.
What? He didn't? What? What the fuck are you talking about? He never mentioned not to watch those types of creators. He was talking about the difference between fiction and reality. You know, the experiences of wielding a sword in real life versus the ones in shows and animes. What? Where'd you pull that out of? Your ass?
But today I want to talk to you guys about what makes good sword content and who you should and shouldn't listen to.
In case you forgot.
So how do you, the viewer, know when a presenter is worth listening to?
He doesn't mention who, but it's pretty clear he's talking about us and a couple of others.
Oh my god.
Don't rope me into this. I'm not a part of this. I'm an observer. I'm a bystander. I'm part of the audience. I'm the screen cap guy.
This response video is again disproportionately long and incredibly desperate. Shad is fishing for validation at every second of this embarrassing response. He tries to debunk Sellsword Arts with various gotchas counteracting his points, when in truth, Shadiversity is blatantly taking Sellsword Arts clips completely out of context just to make himself look better.
Some of
Yeah,
my
very
videos
much.
were clipped in such a way that it loses necessary context. The second clip that Shad uses is of me using a foam sword after I make the point that foam swords are not a good approximation of steel swords. They start with foam. In the video that he's showing a clip from, I very explicitly talk about how this is not a true test of this technique because true steel greatswords are too dangerous to fight with. So after we did our
Yeah, because also they're, you know, solid. Like, they have weight. Like, dude, we don't need to explain the difference between foam and steel. Like, it's not just about the danger, it's generally everything. The fact that we even have to like explain this in multiple ways is just stupid.
Experiment. First, we have to note that these swords are not steel swords. They do not react like a steel sword would. This is a thought experiment and is not conclusive.
Dude, if you're so righteous, you wouldn't have to do that. Sellsword Arts comfortably ratioed Shad with a long-form response video as well as a short-form response video that got over 1 million views. Shad tried to respond, but I mean, I'm sorry, anyone who is serious about swordplay can look at the situation just plainly on the surface and realize who knows what he's talking about and who doesn't.
The people who he might be referring to specifically to defend themselves. And I know
It's a
West
different.
Side
It's a
Tyler.
video that you're not in.
for us specifically,
You're
the
defending
criticisms
yourself
he
right
mentions
now.
in that video.
But his self-serious attitude is just so plainly pathetic. It's so hard to take seriously because he doesn't need to do any of this. There's nothing inherently wrong with being a hobbyist who just engages with this new fantasy. There's nothing wrong with that at all. He built a career off of it. And none of these people, Matt Easton, Celsor, none of them, they're not trying to say that this content is immoral or bad or shouldn't be made.
They're just being, you know, they're showing their passion about the real thing. They're not even dunking on, like, said fiction or swords. They're just like, yeah, it's epic. It's just, I've got my own hobbies and the likes. I'm not dunking on what you like. I'm just saying that's my preference. It's crazy. It's like almost like putting them in a category that they clearly aren't even in.
It's just people should understand the kind of content that Shadiversity makes. It's not realistic, and that is fine. Look, I'm not trying to be mean here. Just use the evidence of your own eyes and ears. Look at Shadiversity and just try your best to take him even somewhat seriously.
The swords are bending too, damn.
In this clip of the super serious HEMA fighter Shadiversity, Shad is fighting with a double-bladed Darth Maul lightsaber sword, trying to prove that this is actually a practical device that would be great to use in real combat.
See, the big difference is that Darth Maul has a lightsaber. You know, the thing that cuts through steel is much more lighter, different to wield, as opposed to two steel beams sharp on both sides. Let's move on.
He has terrible footwork, his stances are a mess, his sword bends the moment it touches the ground, meaning it's probably a lightweight foil.
Damn, when the non-experienced D&D guy is dunking on you for having terrible form, holy shit, you know you're bad when even the inexperienced guys call you inexperienced. Holy.
And, oh my god, the worst part is, when this fight is done, by fight I mean Shad awkwardly swings around while barely moving his feet. When the fight is done, listen to Shad breathing.
So they said you can't really do winding and binding. But in that exchange, I wound into your guard.
I mean, let's not be... Overall, we can see clearly the guy has some health disadvantages. So, I mean, it's reasonable for him to be like that. God forbid if he wears actual steel armor. He'd be cooking like a rotisserie chicken.
Really, dude? You didn't do anything. Like, I'm not trying to body shame Shad here, okay? He does not need to be super buff and work out all the time, all right? He can do whatever he wants, but if he wants to lecture and hate on actual athletes who practice HEMA as a lifestyle, I don't know, man. You should at least try to be a bit in shape and try to know just a little bit about what you're talking about. And I know many of you who are unfamiliar with Shadiversity might be thinking, Crispy, you're being really mean here. And I would respond to that.
No, he's being very reasonable.
By pointing out that when Shadiversity responded to Sellsword Arts, at the time a smaller YouTuber, Shad made sure to link Sellsword's video at the top of his description. Look, as commentary YouTubers, that is really bad practice. You could say, oh, it's to give context what I'm saying so we can show both sides of the story, but let's all be real. What results when you do that is harassment. And look at the harassment that Sellsword Arts got.
Yes, I have been deleting comments because we've been getting hundreds of comments that are inappropriate, slurs.
What? Thanks for making this video. Now I don't have to feel guilty about blocking you from my feed. Good luck with your gender transition. What? What the hell? If you're a 3-9 and use a long sword, does that by default become a great sword? What was it like training with Manny and Pippin? Was Aragorn the patient teacher? Oh, okay, I mean that one's funny. The first one here, not, but this one, that one's kind of funny. Not gonna lie. I mean, it is kind of a funny one. Not gonna lie.
And other things that are
Man-looking ass goblin out here trying to start some drama. Get bent, you little blank. Seriously? Jesus,
not allowed
man.
on my PG channel. I'm out in public. I go
Oh.
to a lot of events, tournaments.
Weird that he calls himself a PG channel. Though I guess it makes sense. You don't want to have harassment, I guess? Or like inappropriate comments. Basically to keep it in the algorithm. I guess it makes sense. Is there any reason for why your helper is in his underwear like a servant boy? What? Is it to keep him from being confident? He sounds like he's afraid to disagree with you. Huh? What the hell? Is you
Renaissance
be civil? Bro, you're a cuck. You take your worthless dancing skills, hold a metal rod, and say you're more of a sword expert than others? You're like the Steven Seagal of the YouTube sword world. You get that, right? Stay in your lane, you hack. Like, comparing him to Steven Seagal of all things. First of all, that's a bit of a stretch. We all know Steven Seagal is in the upper stratosphere of experience, so there's no way he'd be reaching that guy in terms of experience. But second of all, what the fuck do you mean by holding a metal rod? Swords aren't rods. What? Worthless dancing skills as well. Like, you mean his form, his method of wielding swords and weapons is a dancing skill. That's a new one. Stay in your lane, you hack. Damn, like,
festivals,
what the
workshops,
hell
and I
is...
meet my
Oh, and he even has, like, the car profile picture. You know he's the guy who would cut you off in traffic. The goddamn bastard. It speaks volumes.
fans, and I don't want to be associated with that kind of negativity.
Slurs upon slurs, the armchair 4chan audience that Shadiversity has built for himself. And I think that brings us nicely on to our next point. This episode is
Technical
sponsored
difficulties.
by Cheipeku. And I know, you guys
Fast
have heard
forward.
about Cheipeku so many times, but there's a good reason as to why. They make incredible maps for all sorts of TTRPGs. Not only that, but they also have an extensive collection of tokens too, allowing you to customize both monsters and NPCs for your games. But if you're someone who doesn't play in the typical fantasy world, if you want something a bit more on the sci-fi side, well guess what? Cheipeku now have the complete sci-fi bundle for you to purchase. If you want all their sci-fi maps, tokens, and scenes, you can get them all bundled under one subscription. The sci-fi and fantasy bundles are two of the best deals in the entire industry. So don't wait. You can be taking your games to the next level right now. If you guys are interested in supporting incredible human-made, high-quality art, then head down to the description below where you'll find
25
Cheipeku sci-fi and
bucks.
fantasy
No
bundles. Thank you so much,
thanks.
Cheipeku, for sponsoring today's episode. As always, for our sponsors, just for us. Without further ado, back to the tea.
A white knight. Oh no.
So,
Oh no.
the Shadiversity channel is chugging on. At this point in the timeline, we've exited the pandemic. We're in the earlier 2020s. He's not in the red just yet, but unbeknownst to many, there was another channel. Enter Night's Watch.
But in terms of the overall, it's a patriarchal system that's suppressing that women can never be CEOs or never get in government and stuff like that. Bullcrap. Absolute nonsense. But that's what the movie wants to depict.
Night's Watch is Shadiversity's media critique channel, and just looking at some of the earliest videos, I mean, you can get the theme here. Loki emasculates the god of mischief. Yeah, this is another anti-woke slop channel, but
Like one of those boring ass stuff that just trying to engage with you, with your shows and whatnot. Basically churning out slop.
early on, this wasn't really hurting Shad's career. I mean, you might be thinking why it would hurt Shad's career at all. A lot of anti-woke slop is pretty successful, though I will point out that Shad started out his channel as a sword YouTuber. If you want to build up an anti-woke slop channel, you kind of need to start at that base. Look at the Quartering, look at Nerdrotic. They've kind of always been who they are. Shad started more neutral and then revealed a more extreme political perspective. That inherently will alienate some of your audience. However, that didn't really happen early on. I think the first reason is because in the early 2020s, Shad was critiquing media that frankly sucked. I mean, obviously, I disagree with the anti-woke stances about Kenobi, about The Acolyte, about She-Hulk. Those shows don't suck because of women and black people. Those shows suck
because they suck.
Yeah. And therefore, there's going to be less pushback against Shad when he calls out those shows as bad, even if his reasons are a little unhinged. The other reason I think that Shad didn't get a lot of pushback for this channel, though, is because, frankly, no one was paying attention.
Damn, 10k views, 8.8k views. I mean, I'm even lower than that, but geez, this kind of gives me some confidence that I'm not going this way.
Look at these early viewership metrics. They are pretty damn low, especially compared to his main channel where he was comfortably getting hundreds of thousands to millions of views. Nobody was paying attention to this, so he just didn't get a lot of pushback. That changed over the course of a few years, though, and I think it especially changed in 2023 with the release of the Mario movie trailer.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come!
This was, to my knowledge, the first time Shad got some real big pushback on Night's Watch. He reacted to the Mario movie trailer and had some fascinating things to say.
Let's hear them.
You don't have a whip out, pants and halberd in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Princess Peach's motorcycle outfit is too masculine because she wears pants.
Princess Peach!
Yeah.
Give it her pants!
What are you talking about? Also,
Yeah, what is he smoking? my boy, have you seen, like, what was it, Barbie? Bitch has so many outfits, dresses are not the only thing she's worn. What? That's what the hell?
so he's talking as if this was added into the movie to emasculate Mario, make Peach a Mary Sue hero. Bro, this is an iconic outfit that has existed for years. Everyone who plays Mario knows about this. Does Shad not play?
Oh yes, in racing games, right? I think she had that outfit. Right, it was a reference. Sorry, that kind of just jumped out of my head.
Mario?
I completely forgot. I also remember she had, like, maybe that other tennis outfit too. Yeah, like, they do have different outfits. Now that I remember it, they do have different outfits. That's true.
Well, I mean, seemingly that is the case because other takes in this video include Bowser being turned into a simp, despite the fact that that's been Bowser's characterization since Bowser's frickin' inception. Mario being emasculated, even though Mario has never been the most macho hero in the world. Come on, it's
like, Mario's Italian. Just this basic Italian that goes out of his way to fight bad guys. And Bowser, like, has he even like watched or played Mario Odyssey? Like, the whole point of that plot was he was trying to marry Princess Peach. It's not out of left field to see him as a, like, quote-unquote in love with her. Like, it's not even that far-fetched. What?
Mario, dude.
Thoughts? Traditional male hero being made look like a goofy idiot, and
Yep.
the female
goofy
character
idiot.
competent. He's such an idiot. Why do I have to put up with it? Holy crap! This is freaking going woke.
Get it?
Shadiversity crashed out over the Mario movie trailer, and even his audience were raising their eyebrows as to why. Now, I want to make it clear that Shad was not the only right-winger having a freak out over the Mario movie.
As every single one of those tends to do. Like, seriously, why the hell are you overanalyzing things like one of those TikTok bitches? Like, ooh, it's so-called, strong girl and stuff like that. It's like, no, just shut the fuck up.
I mean, it was a thing amongst many of their ilk, but Shadiversity definitely was one of the people who got the most pushback over it, especially because of Jack Saint. Jack Saint made a response video just generally to the anti-woke Mario phenomenon. However, he predominantly featured footage from Night's Watch and relentlessly mocked Chad for clearly not knowing what the hell he's talking about.
This is the thing that frustrates me with this, is this outfit in particular. I believe it's from Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah, there we go.
And then, as you know in the movie, they're riding on the carts. So she's dressed up to ride a motorcycle, which...
Because wearing a dress would be, you know, uncomfortable and very unreasonable, even though it would be kind of funny.
which is a bit difficult to do in a dress.
Hey, yeah.
decided to try and push back against this, including the thing about Peach's pants. Like, at this point, he definitely should know that this is an iconic outfit from the games that was put into the movie. This wasn't added to masculinify Peach, but he still tries to defend his point in his rambly, word salad nonsense way.
Scummy, lying, dishonest.
We don't think the movie wasn't even out! You're a genius! You're a very smart person!
I think it's precious that you think it's like laughable to sort of poke fun at you because you saw Peach in pants and without context got upset about it. Shad, the unfortunate reality is, in this case, people think it's funny that that was your reaction and that you needed justification later on for Princess Peach's pants.
Yeah, for basic, common, you know, reasonable outfit changes. Like, mind blown. She's masculine now. She's an absolute unit.
Jack Saint then made a second video exclusively about Shadiversity, debunking everything he says point by point and getting comfortably over 600,000 views. To my knowledge, Shad never responded to this video, and if he did, it definitely didn't get that many views because I looked and it's nowhere to be seen. However, Chad did not learn his lesson here. This event, I think, really got the ball rolling on turning Shad into the lolcow he is today. It is around 2023 when the Shad Watch subreddit started to gain traction and eclipse the official Shadiversity subreddit that exists on the platform.
Wait, what?
Traction
Go woke
and eclipse
or go woke, go broke?
The official...
Let's see. Sellsword art. Oh yeah, these guys. They have B+ grade. Wow. 60k views, 95 million. Damn, that's a good ratio, honestly.
Shadiversity subreddit.
Meanwhile, Shadiversity C+ grade, -10k. Damn. Even though he's got more, he's losing. Even though his revenue is like, Jesus, man. Holy. Yeah, go woke, go broke. Pretty
On the
much.
platform. Shadwatch exists exclusively to mock Shadiversity. Its whole community relentlessly finds every piece of content that he makes and picks it apart piece by piece. And while I did not use the subreddit for information, since Reddit is probably not the best source for videos like this, I did use it for some laughs. And I gotta say, keep up the good work, my fellow haters. However,
they're comedic experts there, pretty much. They got some good one-liners and jokes.
even with all this happening, Shad decided to take an even riskier swing at another very popular film, that one being James Gunn's Superman. And
oh yeah, that one.
This is somehow worse than the Mario movie one.
It doesn't give me the, oh, I want to see what possibly could have defeated Superman. This is making me think like, this is the presentation, the depiction of Superman you want people to notice first and foremost. It makes me worry that it potentially could be a deconstructionist, approach to Superman, where they're going to break.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Salad of words,
long,
basically.
rambly, nonsensical, and extremely overly loud. What you'd expect from Shadiversity, but there were two moments that stood out, at least to me. One, Shadiversity's weird hatred of Crypto, the super dog, a staple of Superman comics that's been around.
Crypto the dog? How fucking dare you? That's like hating Batman's dog. What is wrong with you?
For a long time. Shad thinks it's cringe and dumb.
A super dog? Come on, am I the only one who thinks Crypto is a dumb thing? And
yes,
and when you're adapting it, you kind of would want to.
The guy on the background. Yes, you are.
Cute dog, man.
It's a dog with a cape. Like, why wouldn't you enjoy that? Like, what? Super dog. What's the problem?
Do you not own dogs?
Similar to how Batman has a bad dog. Why you can't have like a a superhero with a pet that like follows their theme? Like, come on, man.
Do you not have like joy in your life, or
Apparently not.
are you okay? But the even more insane part of this reaction is something that most people probably didn't see because it's at the very end of this overly long video. At the very end, Shadiversity goes to an article written responding to the trailer with some comments from James Gunn himself, the director of the movie. Shad does not read the article on camera. He doesn't even take a cursory look at the actual quote in the article. In this video, Shad just looks at the title of the article, looks at the snippets of quotes from James Gunn in the title of the article, and then reacts to that, concluding that the new Superman movie is going to be similar to Game of Thrones?
But if I was a reviewer, I would probably pass on this completely. You know, it's like, you guys...
Wait, how? So you see the title, see the quotes from the creator, and then just assume Game of Thrones. Someone played a what meme? Huh? What kind of stretch is that?
That you're not doing Superman. You're wanting to do some edgy or deconstruction bullcrap, Game of Thrones nihilistic trash.
But on camera, him reacting to just snippets of the quote and coming to that unhinged conclusion about 2025's Superman.
Listen, I understand sometimes articles can be genuinely frustrating. They can have some stupid shit on them or maybe some annoying jokes here and there. That or they just want you to pay for them. But come on, man. You're telling me you're going to glance at an article, not even go out of your way to read the thing to basically get the general consensus of the stuff? Like, quotes are quotes, but they're not the full thing. Like, come on. There's a reason for why the article needs to be read.
Superman.
It's like having a summary of a story and then just reading the bottom text quotation that basically says, this is the bad guy. He dies here. And then you're just basically like, oh, so this is the end of the story. Meanwhile, the summary says, main antagonist perishes, so a stronger antagonist appears and takes the front stage. It's like, so you read the quick quotation stuff that were mentioned by the author, but the main summary of the story is just glanced over.
Oh, also, Shad
So
did that thing
stupid.
again where he pins a comment being
The first time on this channel, and this guy is on point. His critical analysis is exactly what's needed amongst the mindless praise this mess is receiving. Gunn is on record saying superheroes are dumb and comic accuracy means nothing, but slap some nostalgia and a cute dog and you can get away with anything. As a lifelong DC fan, I will support Gunn. I don't know. I haven't watched the movie, so I can't exactly give out 100% criticisms on it.
nice to him because all
Hey, there's the one with the crypto is not dumb. He's pretty beloved by most Superman fans. I mean, it's a super dog. What's not there to love? It's a super dog, similar to how Batman has a bat dog. Or a bat cow. What's not to love about that? Like, you're just having fun.
all the other comments are mocking his stupid opinions. Amazing. It was glorious. Now, many people have torn apart Shad's Superman takes and his Mario takes, including Anthony Gramuglia. This guy comments on a lot of my videos, and I've tried my best to figure out how to pronounce his name.
I mean, I don't blame you. Like, sometimes they do have some crazy names, and you're just like, is that how you're pronouncing it, or is it not?
It's not happening for me, guys. I'm really sorry. Anyway, Ant made a reaction stream to Shad's reaction stream of the trailer. He tore apart what Shad said. And look, at this point, Shad's learned his lesson. When he responded to Jack Saint, he just made things a hell of a lot worse for himself. He became a laughing stock. I mean, no one wants to do that twice. And he was not about to make the same mistake. Shad took a deep breath, acted like a grown man, and allowed two people to have two different opinions on the Superman movie. Nah, I'm just kidding. He made a 2-hour live stream about it.
Man, dude, you baited me so hard. I was like, oh, he finally learned for real? Nah. Rinse and repeat until it succeeds. Jeez. Damn it, man. I was like, oh my god, he finally learned? Nah. Nah, you're too optimistic, Zarabor. Put your expectations where you expect them to be. Guys, a disappointment. Get used to it.
Exactly that argument. This is retarded nonsense argument. There are, of course, fantastical, non-realistic things that
And
justify
it's
the
a
mobility.
2-hour-long live
I don't want Superman
stream.
shooting out Superman's palms either.
How much do you have to yap about just so you can cover 2 hours about it? Then again, I am yapping as well, so... Though I am trying to move along as well, like... What kind of points did he make just so it can be 2 hours? Like, it's clearly gotta be like his video... barely like, what, 20, 30 minutes at best? So he's adding an hour and 30 on top of it.
Thanos is fucked up. I know that exactly perfectly. That's a silly dumb. There's lots of silly dumb things. But it's just so funny that Anthony is like, look, I can't believe you accept this.
That was... Jesus, this guy might be worse than Lily Orchard. Let me go watch Lily
Who the hell is Lily Orchard?
Orchard. I just give you a comparison. Yeah, never mind. Lily Orchard's still worse, but Shad's...
Thankfully, I don't know who the hell that is, and I will never go out of my way to find out. So I'll keep myself in the blank on that one. I'm good with being in this side of the lane, knowing only about the bad stuff with Shadiversity. I don't need to explore deeper into hell, thank you.
pretty bad. Anthony, though, he was not done. I mean, he took down the aforementioned Lily Orchard. He can take down Shad, too. This is just another body. So, he made another live stream and comfortably ratioed Shad once more.
Shad lies. If you criticize Shad, he will lie about you and paint you as the devil. I do not feel good about that. I don't feel good about a guy going around with a much larger channel in theory, attacking critics that he sees as small potatoes who can bully into submission.
I think this final stream
Good points there.
absolutely destroyed whatever reputation Night's Watch had left, because after this, the Night's Watch channel just collapsed. I mean, I don't know if it was directly
Really?
caused by all these people making fun of Shad, but I'm sure it didn't help. The channel at this point gets pennies in terms of revenue, with only a few...
Sheesh. 1.1 million around April, and then descending until barely 500 to 600 views. God damn. That's 2024 of April. And afterwards there's like a dip. Like a dip afterwards. Like, holy shit. She gained subscribers and mostly gained views. So it's like, ever since the whole ordeal with April, with tons of viewers, and basically kept going downwards for subscribers, and viewers were also steadily declining. Holy. Apparently there was a spike in 25th of April, but again, just as that spike went up, it also went down again, and even twice. It even kept a flat line downwards. Holy.
few thousand views to its name. Night's Watch is thankfully in the ground, but Shad has kept the ball rolling on other platforms, including Twitter, the platform currently known as Twitter. He posts just the most unhinged things, and it makes his earlier complaints about gatekeeping in HEMA the most hilarious of ironies. The sad thing is, most girls still don't like it because the fundamental DNA of weapons and adventure is still there.
Too long, didn't read.
Just made lame and non-violent. And girls are just not into that kind of thing, as much as boys. And the girls that are liked it the way it was, not the pussified version of it. There's nothing wrong with the fact most girls like romance stories such as Twilight or Pride and Prejudice. They don't need to like D&D or Star Wars. And in spite of the efforts, no one can make them. And there's nothing wrong with boys liking the idea of slaying scary orcs.
Oh
in fact,
my
that's a
God,
good thing.
shut
I
the
love how
fuck
Shad is
up.
pretending in that tweet like he's protecting girls from liking Dungeons and Dragons. Those horrible liberals are forcing women to enjoy D&D. What would we do without white knights like Shad? Look, I'm gonna end this segment with something a bit serious, so feel free to skip to the next one. This isn't super relevant to the rest of the video, but this is how unhinged Shad acts when he's talking about stupid nerd stuff. Look, I love D&D and Star Wars and fantasy and sci-fi and all that stuff. It's cool, all right? But at the end of the day, it's, you know, it's games, it's movies, it's TV. It's not the most serious stuff. What happens when Shad is actually talking about serious political events? Well, it gets worse, dude.
Because
Ooh,
our politicians
boy.
are doing nothing, not even that. They're actively taking measures to make it worse. Our retarded Prime Minister's response to this is like, oh, you know what would fix it? We'll take away more of Australian rights and their guns. So
By the way, this is the guy that started his channel with reviewing swords and talking about swords. Now he's one of those political babies. Jeez, man.
they won't be able to defend themselves.
Why are you yelling? I can hear you just fine. Why you gotta blow out my eardrums? Jesus.
When another attack happens, you're
Like, holy crap, calm the fuck down. I might have to actually mute him for a second just so we can get past this segment. Jesus.
friggin' retard!
Oh, okay, thank God.
Is Ed and Crispy jumping in here just to talk about this whole situation and to give you a little bit more context as to what Shadiversity is talking about here? He's talking about a shooting that took place on the Bondi Beach in Australia. It took the lives of many people. It was a terrible tragedy. And of course, Shad is using this event, exploiting this event, to try and beg the Australian government to give him more guns. It's pathetic. It's pathetic, to be quite frank. Look, this is coming from somebody who has a concealed carry license, who owns more guns than Shad ever has, and likely Shad ever will. Do you want Shad M. Brooks to be roaming around your streets with a firearm?
Nope.
Shad is a clearly emotionally unstable man.
I mean, yeah, with the constant screaming, the chances are I'd give him the gun if it means he blows his own brains out.
Who is incapable of regulating his anger. He carries extremist political views, including fantasizing about violence against protesters that he doesn't like. But more
Against
importantly than any of
protesters
that,
of all things?
Shad probably doesn't know the trigger from the magazine release from the safety. Shad doesn't care about learning about these weapons, as clearly demonstrated during the HEMA segment. I mean, he doesn't care to learn the complexities of real sword work. Do you think he cares to learn the complexities of wielding a firearm?
I mean, I don't know much about firearms as well, but I'm pretty adept at knowing where to point and shoot.
Do you want this?
Politicians are retards!
Jesus.
Walking around with a gun? Shad and
I don't trust him with a sword, much less with a gun. Though again, knowing how shabby he handles the swords, maybe he'll just pick up the gun, get tired, and fall on his ass. Maybe the recoil from the pistol will be too much, and he'll just slip and fall and crack his skull open. I don't know.
In my opinion, is the reason why governments need to institute strict gun control laws. Look, this is a dark segment, so I'm going to end this off with something. One hero who put his life on the line to save his neighbors. This man is named Ahmed El Ahmed, and he is a Syrian immigrant. He saw the gunman, and he risked everything to save the people around him. He didn't have a gun, he didn't have a knife, he didn't have anything. He just had his hands. This is what hero looks like. If you take away nothing from this video, I want you to remember this man's name, I want you to remember his face, and I want you to remember his words.
I mean, there are dangers in this world, and sometimes best actions can in fact come with people that have just these hands.
But you risked your life for strangers.
I risk my life for innocent a human being. I can't call them stranger because they are a human being like me, like you.
This is what hero
What a
looks
big
like.
heart.
This is what a man looks like. This is what Shad.
What a
could never-
warrior. Artistic eye.
This is probably how you know Shadiversity, his incredibly awful takes about artificial intelligence. Now, if all the above didn't turn Shad into a lol cow, this absolutely is what pushed him off the edge.
Weirdly enough, I haven't even heard about this until now, so this is my reintroduction to him, if anything.
On October 23rd, 2023, Shad released his video, My Love Letter to AI Art. And, oh boy. It opens with Shad showing off some pieces of art that he made himself. And, you know, art is subjective. Art is sacred, and no matter what
It kind of reminds me of those like old school, what was it? Winx style animations, just like with the weird proportions and lanky limbs. I mean, again, art is subjective, but honestly, it didn't look that bad. I've seen worse, and that wasn't exactly bad. It was just basic stuff. Overall, just kind of a bit wonky, but hey, not bad.
you think about the quality of this art, you gotta admit that this is something that Shad sat down and made himself. And I got a lot of respect for anyone who does that. But Shad's got a different point of view. You see, he looks at this art and sees something primitive. His art was monotonous to make. He hates the process of drawing on a piece of paper. I mean, it takes...
That's kind of sad. You go out of your way to put so much effort into making something and you don't like it? Like, what? The bigger question is then, why did you make it in the first place? Like, even showing it off pridefully, why would you go out of your way to do all of this? You're telling me you didn't, like, even for a second enjoy what you made? Like, basically go, maybe I can improve it and make it better. Maybe, oh my god, this may be the reason for why he made it. It was just, like, to prove a point for AI. Still, though, really? Like, not even, like, a little bit of that? Like, I want to make it myself? Just nothing?
Such a long time. He doesn't want to do the work, he just wants the end result.
It was a great revelation to me later on in life. It wasn't actually the physical, mechanical movement of drawing that I was actually enjoying, but it was the creation of something. There was some relaxation found in the methodical kind of movements of scraping a pencil along paper, but the true artistic satisfaction was in what I was creating.
That is an insane thing for someone to admit, just like on camera, but it gets even worse.
It's not, it's mental even, like, what?
Because obviously, Shad hates the work of making art. He just wants the art itself. So naturally...
But that's why you're making it. Let's go.
AI art is a great solution for him. It's art without any of the effort or work ethic.
Easier to a higher level of quality. So as you can imagine, any technology that grants this same benefit, I am very, very interested in. Hence my interest in AI art generators.
But Shad is not just your standard AI artist. He is not like other girls. You see, unlike all these
Not like other girls.
these other creators of slop, Shad has a real artistic eye. He understands anatomy and body proportions and how to...
That's what he actually said. Stylized body proportions, yes. Actual body proportions, no. God, no.
I've developed a very keen eye for proportion and detail, and I have applied that in every artistic pursuit in whatever medium I'm using.
So he does say that. My guy, you gotta say stylized. You can't say that with a straight face and go, I draw cartoony, and I know for a fact that I can't draw anatomy 100%. That's just my style. I can't help it. You can't seriously tell me you make something like that and say, like, it's anatomically accurate. My boy, if that's how every human looked anatomically, we'd be fucking dead. We'd be fucking sticks, and we'd be dead.
God. Listening to him talk about his incredible artistic...
Then again, we do have plastic surgery, so technically speaking, someone could make themselves this type of abomination. I've seen women literally remove their ribs to make thinner waists, so it's not out of reason to think someone can make themselves like that, but still, like, what? No. God, no. That's fakery and god damn. Just straight up abysmal nightmare fuel.
Skills while also showing off his art is... Oh my god. Is there a simile for embarrassing? Because I'm going to use that word a lot more in this video.
Simile for embarrassing? Maybe. Let's see. Mm, we have shameful, humiliating, mortifying, demeaning, degrading. Can probably get some more words out of this. Ignominious, upsetting, disconcerting, discomforting. What? Discomforting? That's a thing? Distressing, dishonoring, disgraceful, blush making. What? Blush making? That's the first time I've ever heard of that. Blush making. Huh, that's a weird one. Thorny, naughty, vexatious, ticklish. Now we're just gonna stick with the mortifying, demeaning, or degrading. I guess shameful would be the most accurate one, actually. Just shameful in general. Yeah, I think that's pretty fitting, shameful.
But when it comes to the actual AI quote-unquote art that he's making, it doesn't look any different. I mean, Shad pretends that this is some revolutionary process he's doing. He's unlocking the potential of AI.
There are many people who use AI art who have seen my images that I've made with this technology and have literally asked, how on earth do I produce these results?
I mean, basic, picturesque cosplay, I guess. Albeit it's still, like, kind of weird. Like, for example, where the hell does that come from? Where the hell does that... Is that like a cape, the skirt fusion? What?
See a difference in the quality.
What the hell is this? Like a drape skirt? What? Also, she's holding the sword with her 2 fingers.
That I'm able to achieve.
Okay. Again, with the skirt is kind of embedded into the fingers. Again, with the cape skirt fusion.
Versus the...
Kind of better, I guess. It's just a skirt this time, but still. Although this part is kind of bewildering. Bare shoulders going into what I can assume are like sweatpants raised above armor pieces with bare hands.
Quality that they have.
Seriously, what is with these cape skirt fusion stuff? It's so bizarre looking.
Been able to achieve.
Knight in heels. he got the anime proportions alright.
Shad, you're making the same slop as everyone else. Nothing about this is special. I mean, look at this woman's head. Oh my god, that is so disproportionate to the rest of your body. And you're telling me that this is some revolutionary piece that Shad's put together? The rest of the video is Shad describing his technique for making this higher plane AI art. Look, better artists than me have torn this video apart.
And as someone who's dabbled with these things in order to understand them, I can tell you that he's not very good at it. For starters, there are way too many parameters here. This is a throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Parameters? Wait, so you have to be specific? No, I had no
With
idea.
So many parameters, none of them is weighted very heavily. So how can you tell how much any part of it is really contributing to the
What
image?
the hell?
That's why he's using
Smiling young woman, Supergirl, red boots, yellow model, shoot style, subject.
using the parentheses to add weight, but I can also tell you that aside from one instance, he's not even using those effectively. Instead of adding additional parentheses to increase the weight of a particular part of the prompt, you have far more control with using numerical values, not just nested parentheses. There are also numerous typos, weird colors, and
weird
is one word. How much can this represent your vision if you're feeding it words that don't make sense? You might as well slam your hand on the keyboard for some of these and see how it affects.
It's basically like, did you ran it through Word? Spell checking, anything?
Affects your output.
With that being said, there are some things I want to highlight. For starters, the piece that he's making is big booby AI Gooner art of his actual wife. Look, at the very least, I
assume she consented to that?
she consented to this.
Why do we keep switching back and forth? At this point, I might as well let you talk. By the way, not pre-watched.
They're AI artists who don't care as much about that.
Wait, what? Elon Musk's Grok AR president made child sexual imagery says charity? What?
But we're gonna ignore the questionable implications of what he's making and just focus on the process itself. Shad, during this video, describes in such vivid detail how much work he puts into this AI art, while also showing
You're typing several words and getting a result. That's not work. That's just automated. More so automating work to basically make your description. It's kind of like how, for example, you request an artist to draw an art piece or character. You're not really putting that much work, my guy.
the process. And look, again, evidence of your eyes and ears.
This literally feels like me making changes on a canvas with a brush.
Ears.
This literally feels like me making changes on a canvas with a brush.
I've been pretty calm until now, but that statement itself makes me want to see him in real life and pimp slap him so hard he reverts back to being a bitch. What do you mean you draw like a...
And ears.
This literally feels like me making changes on a canvas with a brush.
No, it's not. You're not making changes on a canvas with a brush. This is a program. You're basically changing a description and reshaping or altering it so it's by your design. This is not like a canvas where you draw an outline or a sketch, a plan, and then subsequently start applying colors. Why am I even explaining this? This is just like, I'm actually pissed now. The fact that he states that so proudly and buffly with his chest, God, man. On God, if I can ever get my hands on this guy, I will pimp slap him so hard. You'd better learn his place after that.
And based on the results, I go back into the prompt, changing it, making greater weight and differences, continually refining towards the result that I want.
And how exactly is that changing, like the painting like on a canvas with a brush? How exactly is that exactly the same? You're not putting in that much effort, let alone work into it. I may paint shittily on my own canvas with my own brush, but goddamn, now I'm extra furious. I just want to... damn it. As a guy who has painted, it's nothing like this. Granted, I paint like shit, but it's still my type of painting, and it's still something I put in effort to do. That is not putting effort to do. That is basically using a program to follow your descriptions and parameters to basically be changed so it can match your the image in your head. That's completely different. A canvas can be quite literally shitty, but still satisfactory or even good in your own eyes. And on the other hand, this is just basic generic shit. God. I'm actually pissed.
I mean, he pretends like his Photoshop mock-ups of his art is what
Exactly.
AI makes the art truly art. But I mean, he doesn't even know how to properly use Photoshop. I mean, look at how he uses the smudge tool. God, can you not adjust the opacity so you don't get that weird artifacting, Shad? Come on.
Yeah, what the hell?
This is Photoshop 101. You don't even know how to do this. But of course, you don't see that in the final product because the AI is redoing all of Shad's mistakes for him. Also,
Wow, so he's not even using, he's just basically going out of his way to remove unnecessary details, and the AI just basically modifies it again so it can follow said design. At that point, does the AI even need, like, does he even need to go through Photoshop if he can just modify it through text? Yeah, come to think of it, why doesn't he do that? That's basically faster.
looking at the prompts that Shad puts into the AI, they are just... I love how he puts in stuff like good anatomy, because yeah, that's gonna fix all...
Good anatomy? What? What do you mean by good anatomy? What does that speak? Like, anatomically accurate would be more, you know, or maybe in shape or fit? Why exactly good anatomy? What? Mutated hands, poorly drawn face. Oh, this is, I guess, exclusions.
the problems with A.
Perfect anatomy. Yeah, there it is. Full body, photorealistic. Photorealistic? Is that really something you need to state? Film grain. What? Why do you need a film grain? High quality, soft lighting, DSLR, 8K Ultra HD. Are you for real? What the hell? Intricate, high detail, dramatic, golden blonde, long hair. Sci-fi, science fiction. Couldn't you just write sci-fi? Why do you need science fiction? Flying in the sky, flying Supergirl, young woman, smiling, something blacked out person.
AI. And even the final product that Shad puts out, it's still hilariously bad. I mean, the lighting is coming from the wrong direction. The sun is behind her. She is both backlit and frontlit in this image. But Shad, because he doesn't know anything about art, he doesn't even realize this. This is by far...
I mean, technically speaking, he does, but judging by his drawings that are pretty much on a white background, yeah, makes sense.
Are the worst reception Shad has ever gotten to a YouTube video. Once again, he pins a comment.
Very well said and put. As a computer engineer myself, I love the work you're doing to brind awareness, not bring awareness, brind awareness to the public of how this tool really is. Man, people misspelling are just like ride or die in this. Judging by the comments down here, I think the fear mongering against AI worked. I mean, do I really have... I don't mind AI as a tool, right? Like, if you can, like, convey your thoughts and everything so it can actually, like, get you closer to what you're trying to depict in your head that you can't, you know, illustrate in image, I'm fine with that. But, like, saying it's, like, genuine, like, effort, art, or even going so far as to say it's your own style or something is just so not true. It's a tool. And if you use it like a tool, I'm fine with that. It's kind of like how, for example, Photoshop is your tool. You use it to draw and to sometimes edit images or pictures. Nothing wrong with that. The same thing with AI. It kind of gives you a template that you can then modify by hand or something like that. I don't mind that. But using it fully, saying you're an expert artist or something, or saying that you're like the master of the craft is like... Ugh. I yelled at a waiter to go have my food remade because it wasn't made quite how I wanted. It makes me an incredibly talented chef. That's a good way of putting it. It's weird. Somehow when I have someone else to do work for me, it ends up better. Came back here just to point to a video his brother Jezza just put out. This video really greatly disproves everything Shad says here. How does it feel having an actual artist as your brother? Wow.
Being nice to him because the rest of them are just tearing him apart.
Even AI can fix that anatomy.
part. It's not just random fans, it's also a bunch of artists who flock to this video to mock how plainly ridiculous it is for Shad to call himself an artist while he's having a theft machine do all the work for him.
Yeah, pretty
but
much.
Shad, as always,
Not even just like a theft machine. Him proudly and boldly stating it's like painting on a canvas. Motherfucker, I am going to...
is completely incapable of admitting fault. You'd think after this public humiliation, he would just shut up, make his gooner art in private, and
We already know the result. Why are you baiting me again?
leave the rest of us alone, but nope. He actually made an entire series dedicated to how amazing AI art is. Over on Shad's Twitter, he would also be trying to proclaim the greatness of AI art, even going so far as to try and call out Studio Ghibli. The Ghibli art style is plain uninspired. The
Studio Ghibli.
actual
Let me just read it real quick. You know what? I'll just read the meme. The AI version looks better and crying about it won't change that. It's just... Huh? He just took the girl and tried to make her as realistic as possible. The headpiece is new, though. That's not something she has. She has like the thing still here. Granted, it is scary how up close and almost to the design she looks, but there are some differences. Like, for example, she has a crop top as opposed to like a fused dress here. I don't know about if she shows bare legs, but maybe she doesn't. It's like a lower dress or something like that. Maybe. Like I said, the headpiece is not there. She doesn't have that. It's just a fur coat, I think, which is there. It's just also extends on top of the headpiece. The markings are pretty identical, down to the forehead one being there and everything. Granted, the eyelashes are a bit too thick, but I'm guessing it's to be realistic. And the spikes are a bit too high, or maybe the dress is a bit too low. I don't know. It's scary how close to her it is, but at the exact same time, certain changes have resulted in her being completely different as a result.
reason people love it is because of the quality of stories the style has been attached to and the fluidity and details of the animation it appears in, not the style itself. I get it has an innocent charm to it, hence the fun depicting controversial images in it, but that does not make the style itself anything special when separated from those stories. When it's separated from those stories it's been used in and the quality of the animation.
The animation is...
Chad, you're taking a screenshot of hand-drawn animated artwork. That's like taking a pixel of a painting and saying, I don't get what the big deal is.
And again, like, that's the style they decided on. Just simple, plain, charming, cartoony fun. Like, that's the style that they decided on. Just because you take it and make it hyper-realistic doesn't exactly disprove what they've done. They put an effort, heart, and soul into that. Meanwhile, the guy here basically just takes it frame by frame and makes it realistic. Congratulations, you're an artist now.
This is just a small portion of what makes Princess Mononoke so incredible. The fact that you don't even realize that just further demonstrates your own incompetence. Does he not realize that all of this is the definition of the Dunning-Kruger effect? I mean, God, he probably doesn't even know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is.
I don't. Can you explain?
Anyway, he did keep on making more
Okay,
arguments about AI, including posting his own incredibly high-quality AI artwork. And look, I'm sorry. I think all AI is bad, but the stuff the Shadiversity puts out, how does it look particularly worse than all the other slop that's out there? I've been watching a lot of isekai anime lately, and it put me in the mood to have...
There we go. He said it. He said it. Isekai anime. That already speaks volumes. That already speaks volumes.
an illustration made of a fantasy adventurer.
And not even just the one or maybe the two. A lot of isekai anime. As in multiple. Oh my god.
And I had a lot of fun working with a more animated style with bigger eyes. My favorite part are her smile and expression, which I needed to manually shape, as with everything else in the image, but the smile took the most work. I put in the extra effort into the background of this one, and I love her sword, shield, and armor, which I designed myself, which shouldn't need to be said, but people just assume the AI does all the work, and it's quite the opposite with how I make my images. I literally made a 3D model for the sword, and I love its design. I think I'll illustrate a companion for her and add him to the image. You didn't illustrate jack shit. And frankly, if you made that expression on her face, you should be ashamed because, God, that is the most uncanny thing I've ever seen in my life. You should blame the AI for this. Don't take responsibility for this crime.
Jesus Christ. She's staring into your soul.
Against my eyes? Now, a lot of people have mocked Shadiversity's AI takes, as I've said before. But no one's really said it directly to his face, at least to my knowledge, until Shad went on a podcast with Zachary Levi. Yeah, that one. Now, look, I understand that Zachary Levi has kind of gone off the deep end. I definitely don't agree with everything Zachary Levi says, and I'm not here endorsing his views or anything like that. However, I am going to say that what Zachary says in this podcast clip, he's pretty based. Look, Zachary Levi, for all his faults, he is an actor. He's part of the arts, and he doesn't like AI any more than anyone else does. And when he goes on this podcast with a bunch of alt-right YouTubers, including freaking Nerdrotic, Jesus, he argues against AI and argues about why it's bad, and talks about his own projects where he's going to fight for human-made art. And Shad decides to, open his fat mouth about it.
Encouraging. I'm kind of the AI guy on that.
Yeah.
Chad. You and me both, Shad.
That's funny. You sound like a real human.
Chad, keep it
He's from Australia.
Keep it under a couple minutes.
He's from Australia.
I will.
When freaking Nerdrotic is telling you to keep it under a couple minutes, does anybody actually like this guy?
I don't think so. It's literally just for the clout.
Anyway, Shad tries to level with Zachary Levi. He tries to argue that they're actually saying the same thing. Like, yeah, Zachary doesn't like AI slop, but he probably will like AI art. He's not anti-AI at all when...
And so I find it heartening that you're not wholly against that. You can see that. No, there are use cases, absolutely.
I actually didn't say that. I think here's the thing: is that I don't know that I believe that. Like, I would love to believe that the most talented people will utilize AI in the most talented ways and therefore make the best AI projects. However,
Levi here tries to debunk two of Shad's arguments, and in my opinion, he succeeds with flying colors. First, Shad argues that AI is a tool, that only skilled people can really make it work. Levi counters by saying that AI is not a tool because it's not helping anyone with anything. It's doing the work for you. A baby could use AI.
Yeah, pretty much.
Two, Shadiversity argues that only the best AI will rise to the top. Levi counters with a point that he argues that even without AI, even with our current modern zeitgeist of streaming services and platforms, it's so hard to sort through to find underrated gems that you're going to enjoy. Everything is algorithmically based. The top 10 on Netflix, the top 10 action movies, blah, blah, blah. It's hard to find the really, really good stuff.
Not to mention that sometimes algorithms can just push something that no one expected into the top views. Need I remind you of a certain blonde guy in a forest? It's so bizarre and desaturated. You have to genuinely search for it just so you can find it again. That or just through random recommendations or stuff you've watched and seen doesn't get recommended to you. Again, people have their own preferences and do stuff for a set audience.
Can you imagine how much worse it's going to be when these platforms are covered in AI slop? Again.
I mean, before they were slop, now they're just going to be AI slop, so... God protect.
I don't like Zachary Levi. Not one bit. But yeah, he cooked Shad here. And Shad's face throughout this. The strained, forced smile he gives is just adorable. But you might be wondering...
Strained, forced smile. Literally starts frowning.
Why is he doing any of this? I mean, Look, plenty of YouTubers have many interests that they don't put on their YouTube channel. Shadiversity is a sword YouTuber. Why is he talking about AI art? Can't he just shut his mouth? He's clearly being cooked from all sides, even—
No. He's no longer a sword YouTuber. He's a fucking political YouTuber. Now there's a difference. Now he's dropped the entirety of the thing, and he's straight up just being a aggressive dumbass on the equivalent of Hassan. It still amazes me that these types of people have so many viewers.
from within his own circles, people are mocking him. Why does he need to be an artist? Well,
Because it brings in more views? Then it's controversial, apparently.
it's because his little brother is one of the biggest artists on the entire platform.
Ooh, here we go. Some
Jazza.
spice.
Jazza is a YouTuber with millions of subscribers. He's an incredibly talented artist, both digital art and pencil to paper art. He's made sculptures, he's made cosplays. His videos are high quality and incredible. The guy is one of the most liked YouTubers on the platform for a reason. You couldn't find a more uncontroversial man.
Weird how I've never heard of him. No, I guess if he's so successful, good on him.
And Jazza is Shadiversity's little brother.
Oof.
Now, publicly, Jazza and Shad aren't like beefing, at least not normally. But if you want a glimpse into what their relationship is like, I'm gonna flash back to a convention years past. Jazza and Shad were invited to a tabletop role-playing game. See, I told you TTRPGs would be relevant here. Look, Jazza and Shad in this game were given some pre-made characters based on themselves. And in this game, Jazza had a lot of points in art because he is a professional artist. And he had more points in art than Shad.
I mean, yeah. Guy's passionate and draws and does this for a living. Like, duh.
And Shad did not like that.
My artistry is actually at a professional level.
And we'll give him like martial arts. You weren't like Olympic level.
This is
martial arts.
professional. I'm not at that. I think artistry should be.
There are a lot of people who are at a professional standard who can't work as an artist.
Yeah, but we're talking about skill, not, wanting to work.
Yeah, I know, but like,
Joss, you need to be very honest.
If you were to get, if I'm going to be very honest, I love you. I'd say appointed artist.
Well, no, because then you should get appointed artist. We have our strengths and weaknesses, and you know what my strengths are in artistry. No. That is said with a huge amount of ignorance in regards to the publishing and writing.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
It is profoundly ignorant, that concept.
Be persuaded by an artist writer.
So you're just giving it to me to try and satisfy me?
Somewhat, because you won't stop arguing, so that's okay.
Wow. Like, instead of like taking your strengths and, being a bit unique, you try to uphold your younger brother who's clearly got the talents. What the fuck?
Shadiversity is having a public meltdown because in a fantasy tabletop role-playing game, his brother has more art points than him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's even a great point, actually. Literally fictional characters being made, and he wants to be the one who has more art points. Do art points even do anything in D&D? Like, I'm pretty sure they're just artistic bonuses for maybe detective work or something. Maybe. Do they even do anything? Like, I understand if you compete for, like, a class, you want to be a ranger and the other one wants to be a warrior, but then wants also to be a mix between warrior and ranger. Maybe I can understand if, like, they wanted to be bards both, but they're also debating on maybe they shouldn't have two bards. It's so weird.
Is there another word for pathetic in the dictionary?
Pathetic. Let me just check real quick. I think what could possibly be like shameful, pitiful, feeble, Lamentable. Yeah, I think pitiful fits him perfectly. Like, goddamn, how pitiful can you
because I
be?
think I'm going to be using that one a lot too. It's so sad because Jazz is clearly trying to placate Shad. He tries over and over and over again to just calm his brother down, but Shad keeps on coming back to this argument. All the people who are watching them are clearly embarrassed and uncomfortable. I mean, Shad is trying to...
I mean, yeah, and in addition to that, it's just a D&D game. Like, why does everyone take a role-playing experience that's supposed to be fun with friends so seriously? Like, that's like having a character in a game that you play die and then just basically getting pissed at them dying, and then you respawn and continue on and from the last save checkpoint. It's like, why are you so angry about something that literally does not have any meaning in this universe?
Argue that I'm a professional artist too. I mean, I'm just as good as you when... Dude, I'm sorry, this is you, this is your brother.
Oh, damn, that's good. And it's on an actual, like, canvas of all things. Damn. Feels like I'm painting on a canvas. His actual talented brother. Meanwhile, and yeah, like I said, he really doesn't have a background. He just focuses on a white plain background. No additional stuff to fill in the blanks. God damn.
Everyone knows who's better, okay? Everyone knows. It makes sense now.
And like I said, I don't even hate his style. It's not even that, like, bad. Definitely stylized, definitely more out of proportions, but still not a bad style. It's just, in comparison to his brother, who's actually, like, apparently using canvas paints and everything, who clearly puts in more soul and effort into it, like, the effort and the passion is, like, the biggest difference. One simply enjoys his style and simply shows it. The other one enjoys his art and, experience and makes it. Like, the difference is night and day.
Everyone knows who's better, okay? Everyone knows. It makes sense now why Shad wants AI to be normalized, why he wants people to like his AI art so badly.
So he can be better than his brother? Really?
Because this is clearly something he is very, very deeply insecure about.
Yeah,
For having a style... Man, that is little beta behavior. Like, god damn, man. For real?
Character anatomy.
I guess in terms of
proportion specific.
We don't need to sit on this. We really don't. We can talk about this on the drive home. It's not applicable. We should play a game. This is not entertaining.
How's your battery doing?
Now, after this clip, there's not much on the public relationship between Jazza and Shad. They weren't interacting a ton in videos. Jazza did appear in some of Shadiversity's content, but it wasn't a frequent occurrence, and most people were happy to just pretend the two are unrelated and carry on with their lives. However, in late 2025, Shad put out this tweet. Quick question regarding cancel culture. Pretend you're a public figure and hated for being an anti-woke conservative, causing a friend who is also a public figure and disagree with those political views to disassociate with you, but only to the public, and they want to maintain the friendship in private while avoiding all public association. They will not mention you in public, except to condemn your views. They'll not appear with you in any collaborative appearance or let you in around their business, but want to communicate or spend time with you in
God damn, too long, didn't read, Jesus fucking Christ, this guy's tangents make me fall asleep. I can't even focus on them.
Private, where they are convinced they have done nothing wrong, and this is a necessary action to protect their business and employees. Stuff like this happened to me. The most prominent one being when Matt Easton cut all ties with me. Bro, that was years ago. That man is rent-free. Holy shit. But I'm interested in how you would react. The two main responses are, yes, it's fair. You would let them do this to protect them from any possible hate associating with you, even if it's small. Or, no, it's cowardly and hypocritical, and you would hold them to their standard. And if you are not good enough to associate with publicly, then you want to associate with them privately. Okay, that's a very specific tweet made out of nowhere for no particular reason around the time when families are getting ready for the holidays. Wonder why he said this. Well, yeah, spoiler alert. This was a sub-tweet about Jazza. For clarity, Shad's post is about me. I publicly distanced my business from Shad's political views because those views made my staff and me uncomfortable and caused people to make incorrect assumptions about my own views. I was clear at the time that this was a professional boundary, no rejection of private family relationship. After that, personal contact stopped, and Shad's civility towards me at family events became conditional on me reversing that professional boundary.
Bruh. They're just keeping family and business separate, as it should be. Not treating people with privilege. And keeping it, business related. Like, bruh, he's still your brother. He clearly cares, but like, damn. How bad do you have to be to basically want to... Jeez.
I have not asked for private access while condemning him publicly. I've only asked for basic civility at family events. That has not been possible. I'm responding publicly because I'm being referenced and effectively put to a public vote over my business decisions and family relationships, rather than just being addressed directly or privately.
As it should be, because this shouldn't be something that should be brought into the public. It's like it's trying to, like, bring him down and destroy him just so he can bend the knee and go his way. What an absolute piece of garbage.
Shad's public combative post only deepens the divide that for over 2 years has already been difficult for our family.
Recording Crispy forgot to talk about this, so here's editing Crispy to bring it up because, God, Shad does that cell phone thing again. Jaza posted some receipts from a conversation between him and Shad where they're talking about a family gathering. And Shad responds with receipts of his own, an expanded version of the conversation. And dude, Jazza was helping Shad out because this makes him look so much worse. Here's the conversation. Joss, Blank told me that you would rather talk directly to me and try to resolve the issues we have if there's any hope of you coming to family gatherings with me. The problem is my feelings and views have not changed, and it seems as though you don't even know why I'm upset with you and think I'm the sole cause of the break in our relationship. If you want to try to resolve this, you need to try to understand why I'm so hurt by what you've done. I'm willing to explain all of this, but you won't like hearing it. Unless this actually gets addressed, I won't move past it. I'm not sure you really want to do this, as you don't seem to be willing to admit any fault. And that's the case. I can't believe you truly want to talk to me and resolve
Literally
anything. And
falling
any stuff
asleep
will only
to
offend you
this.
and make things worse, which has been my impression so far. If this is correct, then the best we can do is be civil around each other, which is what Blank was trying to convey to you for the sake of having the family together during Christmas. I will not be trying to make my presence at any family
That's
gathering
how
uncomfortable.
VTubers react like
But I
crazy.
don't want to chat with you
Holy.
and pretend like everything was like it was, because my feelings have not changed. If you really cared for the family, you would not let my feelings about you stop you from spending time with them during Christmas, where I'm present. What a little bitch. Again, to make it clear, and Shad never
Thank you.
counteracts this. He is cutting off Jazza because Jazza does not want to work with Shad's YouTube channel. His dying, terrible, right-wing YouTube channel.
With AI slop in it now.
There are many reasons why Jazza would not want to do that. Shad is trying to leverage his family relationships to blackmail Jazza into working with him. He's trying to leverage his relationship with his brother to try and get a big collaboration for his YouTube channel. And Shad thinks that Jazza needs to apologize to him for that?
For what?
Yeah, Jazza ratioed Shad. That's becoming a very common thing, apparently. But Shad had a counter argument. Well, not a counter argument. He had a coward's argument. He said that he wasn't talking about Jazza. He was just talking about a random friend, completely unrelated. This
Basically trying to backpedal from criticism so he can save his skin. Damn.
is Jazza attacking Shad.
What an actual...
Jazza.
He's an actual bitch. Pimp slap him right away.
Is attacking Shad, attacking his business when Shad needs his brother most. I mean, how could Jazza do this to his family? I mean, Shad's the victim. He did nothing wrong. I mean, pussy. Anyway, it actually got worse for Shad and Jazza's relationship when Jazza decided to release a video about his AI mistake. You see, Jazza, he's never been as on board with AI art as Shadiversity, but he was definitely fence-sitting for a while, even making some videos musing on what AI could possibly do to make art better. But yeah, he put out a video condemning all those past arguments that he made.
Loud and clear, let me say that I am against the use of generative AI in the production of art and content. And I want to also clearly pledge that I and my team will be committed to producing art and content without the use of generative AI.
Unlike Shad, Jazza can look at his own mistakes, see what he did wrong, and learn. But the best part of this video is that Jazza directly attacks Shadiversity.
Anyone who thinks that this AI-generated Princess
Ooh, damn.
Mononoke is better than this frame from the original
Damn, now that I have a closer look on it, the left cheek really does, like, have that weird tear. Also, there's a pendant here now? Something that clearly she doesn't have. Oh, and odd, even number, odd number. Yeah, when you get up close to it, it really does look weird. What the hell?
motion picture animation Princess Mononoke is leaning on a perspective that is void of empathy, context, or technical understanding. Worst of all, it strips the original character of her soul simply to reimagine her as a sexualized pin-up girl with
Actually, yeah, that is very accurate. Holy.
come hither eyes.
Kind of hard to miss, but yeah, that is Shadiversity's embarrassing post about Studio Ghibli. This is Jazza publicly condemning his brother's nonsense. As of right now, Shadiversity has not responded. It hasn't gone great for him up until this point, so I can see why. Once again, pussy, I would like to see him try, but also it's probably
This man speaks my words.
better for his family's relationships if he just shuts the hell up.
Thank you.
It's so sad because
we're on the
this
same wave.
really explains so much
This guy, me for real, for real.
of why Shadiversity acts the way he does. His brother is everything he will never be. Jazza is talented and successful, principled, kind. He is in shape. Chad
Damn, even in shape.
just comes off like the jealous, mediocre.
I mean, he does look good, but you didn't expect him to keep
killed his
shape.
YouTube channel.
Oof, the worst possible thing you can follow
Time to
up
wrap up. Let's look at some stats and numbers. Shad's YouTube channel collapsed in 2025. I don't know the exact reason. It's literally just all of the above that I've talked about so far. He's gone from getting millions of views a month to nowadays not even cracking 800,000. I'll make it clear, those numbers are solid, but you have to keep in mind that YouTube operates based on the percentage of your audience that are interested in your content. So for example, take my channel. On Crispy's Tavern, I have around 150,000 subscribers. When I make a video, if it gets 100,000 views, that's 2/3 my audience. That is an incredibly successful video. But 100,000 views on a channel of 1.5 million subscribers, that's not great. Shadiversity
That's underperforming.
sometimes doesn't even
Really
crack
underperforming.
20,000 views on his channel. That is disastrous. Also, another thing, I have no overhead. The only person getting paid here is me. All this cash goes in my pocket besides the stuff I pay for taxes. Shad, though, he's got collaborators. He has a set. He needs to pay for this stuff. And because of his lack of success on recent videos, he's got to downsize, which builds a compounding problem. A lot of people came to Shadiversity because of high quality content, content that costs money. But because that content doesn't get the same attention that it did, because of, you know, all the above, Shad can't make it anymore, leading to even more people distancing themselves from Shadiversity. A couple more things from Editing Crispy. First, Shadiversity regularly makes videos now about how his channel is dying. Dude has practically devolved into an e-beggar with how much he is praying for people to pledge to his Patreon. However, if you take...
That's gotta be like the worst possible thing you can do. Like, granted, if your channel is dying, rather than just, you know, focusing on the things that clearly aren't working, why don't you go back to your passions? Or, you know, diverge and basically try something new. Like, I understand if your channel is dying and whatnot, but, like, do you really have to go out of your way to beg people to to go out of their way to do something about it? Like, granted, if you know, show or basically state that you have methods of getting money, that's fine, but begging people outright is just kind of scamish.
Look at his Patreon statistics, they're decreasing too.
Whoa, holy shit. So September graph note per patron earnings. Yikes.
It's not collapsing like the YouTube channel is, but
Yeah, but it's got like it's slow rises and then sudden dips.
Definitely not going up, so that might not be enough to save his YouTube. Also, on top of that, a lot of the people who work under Shad,
they're also leaving in droves,
Yeah, because you probably can't pay them.
including...
I'm not full-time here anyway. As you know, our financial difficulties are a little funky, so we've been working with that over the last year, but...
Things are not up and up in the old Shadland, but... What makes this worst of all is that he could be in even worse position. He has had multiple really weird projects over the years, including trying to build Shad Castle, which never happened and never will happen, to be frank. Oh, and also, he tried to make a movie about his book, Shadow of the Conqueror. Now, that movie raised $120,000 on Kickstarter and never happened, which I'm sure all the backers are really happy about. But you're probably wondering, what's that book about, Crispy? Well, the book has some fascinating content. Content...
Can I even show this? That's a bit, dig dastardly for censorship. That's very sensitive stuff to write in a book. I'm guessing he was trying to make it like Game of Thrones, but like, what the fuck?
That definitely belongs in certain files. If you guys support this video enough, there might be a sequel in store. Before that video is made, we've got plenty of other episodes of Critical Failure. If you guys enjoyed this one, if you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy this other episode where he talked about another alt-right creator. This guy actually ended up in prison, linked up in the cards. But before you go, please do let me know you
ended up in prison. Okay.
Leaving the comment "disingenuous" in quotation marks. We're gonna steal Shadiversity's favorite word before he uses it against me. Also, leave a like on this one and subscribe to Crispy's Tavern.
Does he really use the word disingenuous that much?
To support us directly, head over to our Patreon or buy our merch, stuff like that makes these videos possible. And essence, like, comment, subscribe, support. We will see you all next time. Farewell.
Bye-bye. Well, that was definitely a topic for discussion, I guess. Holy
You gotta pull up my notes before I show you how it's done.
Like, what the hell? I'm guessing this is why he kind of doesn't appear in the EFAP podcast. For those of you who don't know, that's like the one I know from Mahler mainly. That's the only guy I follow from that podcast, and even then I don't watch their podcast that often. Jazz's older brother while learning Darth Vader was Luke's father. I don't even know Jazza, but judging by, his statements and whatnot, he's kind of chill. Not bad. No one tells Shadiversity that he has diversity in his channel. Oh my god, that is golden. That is so golden. Shad is the kind of guy who thinks he got punched in school for being a nerd when in reality got punched for being a massive prick. Again, like I said, he needs the proper pimp slap so he can properly be labeled the bitch. Encapsulation the phrase throw an insult on the ground and someone will pick it up saying it was from them. He has terrible footwork. As a former fencer, I take issue with this. He has no footwork. No, that's a roast. Known as Twitter, it's an infuriating good joke. Oh yeah, because Twitter is, renamed to X. Because what better way to remind you of the adult websites than having a website that starts with X? Smart. Emasculating the god of mischief, my guy Loki literally turned into a horse and got impregnated by that holding steed was made look at pretty emasculating in the original sagas. Yeah, pretty much. He was a freak. Damn. Shadiversity overall. I mean, not much to say. I remember him from having certain reviews. I remember the most clearest one was the Doom sword being kind of reviewed, which was kind of interesting to see and hear. But like, I don't know. I mainly remember him from some stuff from Mahler, and after that it's just been a blank canvas. Never kept up with the guy, never watched some of his stuff. Never really went out of my way to you know, see what he was doing, let alone go into full detail. It's crazy how when you when you don't even go out of your way to know these guys, only then do they prop up basically with all the information that basically tells you just how bad they were. It's crazy. Crazy. Okay.